back to my channel. My name is Crystal for anyone who's new here, and I am so excited for today's video because we are talking about one of my favorite topics, which is personal finance. And I'll be sharing with you guys all my savings goals for 2023 and what method and strategy I use to get there. But I do have to start on this video by saying I am not a financial advisor, and any video that you watch online, you should always do more research and never take anything for face value. But my intentions with this video is really, again, just to show you the methods and strategies I'm using to save in hopes to motivate you, or at least have you start thinking about what goals you want to accomplish financially. So take what you want, leave what you don't want, and let's get into the video. So as we all know, saving money can be a very daunting task, but it's an important step towards financial stability and security. So the first thing I would do is determine what you even want to save for. This can be a big purchase like a home, a car, paying off student debt, or even something small like saving for a staycation or for a gift that for someone you really care about. Whatever it is, make sure it's something that is meaningful to you and that you are motivated to save for, because if you don't have those two things, there is a good chance you may not reach your goal at the end of the year. And a good exercise I like to do when determining this, and I'm just like, oh shit, like what do I even want to save for, is by visualizing the life that I want to build. And I'll do something called the 1-3-5 year plan. And all I do is I sit with myself and really internalize, what do I want my life to look like a year from now, 3 years from now, and even 5 years from now. And obviously this plan is going to change just as much as we do, so this is not set in stone, but I think it gives you a very good baseline of where to start. And at the end of it, you might have a big list of all the goals you want to accomplish. Some might have a monetary tie to it, some may not. But I would just take everything that kind of has a cost to it, lay that out, and then see, okay, this is what I want to prioritize this next year, so that in 5 years from now, I'll have X amount of money, or, what have you. Just prioritize all the things that you want to save for, and that will give you a good idea of, okay, this is the life that I want to build and the plan that I'm going to get there. For me, for example, one thing that I really want to do is travel the world. So in the next 1 to 3 years, I'm trying to go to Bali and Japan. I want to get out of my little California bubble and experience the world and just be immersed in other people's cultures. For me, that's just how I want to live my life, and obviously I wish that was free, but it's not. So I'm definitely going to start saving for those trips so that when they come up, I at least have enough to pay for the plane ticket. But yeah, I would start there. So after you visualize the life that you want to build and you prioritize what's top of mind for this next year and everything that you want to save for, the next thing you do is determine a target date. So taking all your goals, is there a date that you want to accomplish this goal by? And then you can categorize it by a long-term goal or a short-term goal. For me personally, I only have long-term goals and short-term goals. Long-term goals are anything that is over a year and that I'm gonna have to save even after 2023. And then a short-term goal is anything that I'm just saving for this year. And obviously you can do whatever works for you. Everyone defines and categorizes their finances differently. So you could even do like medium-term goals that might take like 6 months for you to complete. So whatever floats your boat. It's honestly your world. I'm just living in it. But whatever you do, I think this really helps you create that roadmap and can kind of visualize and track your progress along the way, which will in turn help you feel motivated to continue saving for that goal. Okay, fun fact, this is not my house. If you didn't know, I'm actually staying at my friend's house today, and this is one of their amenities, which is so beautiful. It's so nice. But people keep walking in here, and I'm recording at the camera, and then I get so awkward, and so I was like, oh hi. He's like, are you recording something? I was like, yeah, but did you want to be in here? I'm not gonna take that much longer. He's like, no, it's okay, I'll just come back later. He was very nice, but it was just very awkward, and I get so shy. Anyways, so now that we know what we want to save for and we determined what our target date is and kind of categorize that as a long-term goal or a short-term goal, the next thing we need to do is just understand what is the cost of that goal. What is the end amount that we want to save for? So if you wanted to save for a house, a car, a dream vacation, what is that goal amount that you want to save for? And taking that time frame and understanding how much money are you going to need to save each month to reach that target date. So for example, if you have a long-term goal of buying a car in 3 years, and let's say the price of that car is $60,000 and you want to put a 15% down payment, that means you need to save $9,000 for the next 3 years, which comes out to $3,000 a year, which is $250 a month. So that's kind of how I would look at that, and then I would list it out for each of my goals and get an understanding of, okay, so this is how much I need to save a year and like every month, and just having a very general understanding, okay, of that. So now that you have all those numbers for what you actually need to save for each month, now you have to understand your current financial situation, and this can be a very big reality check and how much money you actually have available every month to save and invest. So what I do is I use the categories of spending, which I talked about in my December reset video, and this can look very different for everyone, but for me personally, this is what I decided I want my paycheck breakdown to be. 40% towards essentials and fixed cost, 30% towards guilt-free spending, 20% in my savings, and 10% for long-term investments, not including my Roth 401k. So let's say on average, I'm trying to hit a goal of making $4,200 every single month. 20% of that is $840 that I can allocate towards my savings, and 10%, which is $420, that I can allocate towards my investments. And those are the numbers I'm working with. Now, this is probably the point where people might be looking at like, well, I just did the math, and that math ain't mathin' with how much I actually have to allocate versus what I actually need to save for. And it can be a huge slap in the face when you actually understand your current financial situation. And I want you to know that you are not alone. I definitely felt that same way, and it can be a very overwhelming feeling. But please do not let it discourage you, because I truly believe that saving something is better than not saving anything at all. So again, do not get discouraged. The point of this is to have a plan, and after you crunch the numbers, it gives you a clearer mindset of, okay, like I'm not here now, but what can I do to make this goal a reality? And math can help you answer a lot of the questions, but honestly, there is no foolproof formula, and if there is, please let me know. But our relationship with money is just as personal and valuable as any relationship in our lives, which makes it such an emotional topic. So it's okay if you have, emotions and feelings, guiding you where you need to go. But I think you have to prioritize what really is important to you and have your savings plan reflect that. And again, your savings plan will change just as much as you do. So that will be okay. But it's more of a guidance and a place to start to get you where you want to be. So now I'm going to walk you guys through what my final saving goals even look like, what I kind of ended up with, and kind of my thought process when thinking through it all. Okay, so now here is my savings and investments, everything that I want to save for this next year. I have my category, if it's a short-term goal or a long-term goal. I have a target date, and then my end of the year goal amount. I also have this column here for what I have saved so far. So some of these goals I've been saving for this past year, and now what I'm working from is this remaining goal column. And now column I is what I should be saving every month to hit that remaining goal at the end of the year. And as you can see in this Q1 goal here, this is what I'm going to try to save for in Q1, which for a lot of these, like the bottom of these, I am not hitting that goal. That's why I kind of marked it in red, but that's because a lot of these short-term goals take priority just because they're more time sensitive. But I know like after April 13th, I'm going to have $245 to allocate to some of these other buckets. And then I'm hoping to, I plan to revisit this savings plan quarterly. So hopefully I get a pay raise or somehow am able to make more money, or I have to reevaluate and save in my expenses somewhere. But in Q2, I'll come back here and reevaluate okay, now how much can I allocate for these specific buckets, and where can I make up the money that I lost in these first 3 months? So this is everything that I have so far. If you scroll down, I only have Q1, and then as the year goes on, I'll add Q2 and Q3 and Q4. But this is total savings, and then if I spent any of that money, I'll go ahead and log that here, and then it'll tell me, okay, how much savings do I have left. So that's what this kind of looks like. And again, this is an art, not a science. I really just went in here and was playing with the numbers. I don't know if the way I'm doing this is the right way to do it. If anyone has any tips on how I could do this better, please let me know. I would love to listen and learn from all of you. But yeah, I would really just go in here and just make sure that this allocation is correct and hits that $840, and then we will reevaluate in Q2. But you can see here I have all my savings goals and then also my investments. I'm not trying to max out my Roth IRA. I've talked about this before. I max out my 401k, so I don't think it's entirely necessary for me to max out my Roth IRA. But I do want to start doing more in personal investing into like ETFs and index funds this year, which isn't a lot. Like $60 isn't a lot, but it's something. But everything that's bolded also in savings and in my investments are the ones that have high priority for me and that I'm focusing on this year and that I am not budging for. So for example, for like this goal amount, $10,000, I did not mess with that. I was like, at the end of the year, I want to have $10,000 in my emergency fund, or, you know, this is how much I had in it so far. So my remaining goal of this, like, I am not going to mess with that number. That's how much I want, and then I'm going to make up for that for sure come Q2. That is everything that I am saving for in 2023. So now that you have your plan laid out, the very last thing that you do is automate that process. I don't know if every bank has this, but I personally have 2 online banking accounts, one with Ally and another with SoFi, for no in particular reason other than I started with Ally in 2022 and then switched over to SoFi, but SoFi only allows you to have 1 checking account open, and I like having 2 checking accounts just so I can put money away specifically for rent, and I know I'm like not touching that, so you know, I can have a roof over my head. But what I love about both of these banks is that they have like vaults or buckets in your savings account where you can actually name your goal, the target amount, and then you can put automatic payments into those savings accounts, which makes it so incredibly easy. And I'm not sponsored, but I just love when things are like efficient like that, and it makes my life 1,000 times easier. And I don't know if all banks do this, but you could definitely do it manually if your bank doesn't do it, and there's a bunch of videos on YouTube for that as well. But that's personally what I use. And that pretty much wraps up the video. That's everything I'm saving for 2023, and then we'll come back at the end of March or early April to reevaluate for Q2. Now, when you're doing this, please do not be afraid to ask for help. If you're lucky enough to have a financial advisor or even a friend or a family member to ask advice from, you don't have to be alone, and saving it doesn't have to be intimidating. By setting goals, creating a plan, and being proactive about your finances, you can start saving and achieving your financial dreams and making your goals a reality. Take control of your money. Don't let it take control over you. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Love ya. Bye.